longer find another reason to breathe.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Today we're going to be talking about football here on the channel, but we're not going to be talking about college football, and we're not going to be talking about the NFL. We're going to be talking about the USFL, which, in case you have not heard, it's coming back this year. It'll be starting in April, in which next week is March. So it will be April before you know it. And I'm excited about it because of the fact that by the time they have their regular season and their playoffs, it'll be just about time for college football to start. So it'll make the off season that's already short seem even shorter. And I know the off season as a whole is long in football, but the reason why I say it's short is because, yes, the season itself is short, but as soon as the season ends, within 5 or 6 weeks, you have National Signing Day, and then shortly after that, you have the spring game. So even though the off season is long, it doesn't seem long because of all the stuff that goes on off the field. But now it'll seem even shorter with the USFL, and I don't know about anybody else, but years ago I was a big fan of the Arena Football League. I can remember it coming on ESPN on Monday nights when I was in high school. And there was a time where the Arena Football League was very, very successful. And the reason why it was very, very successful was because, for the most part, for about 10 years or so, it was pretty much a developmental territory for the NFL. Because the NFL, unlike baseball and basketball, doesn't have a minor league system. So when you graduated college, you couldn't go to the NFL because you weren't quite ready and you weren't quite good enough. So you would go to the Arena Football League and play for 3 or 4 years, and then you would go to the NFL. Well, then over time, it got to where all the players that weren't quite NFL ready, they would go play in the Canadian Football League. And the Arena Football League just turned into a bunch of scrubs that either were just never going to be NFL ready because they weren't good enough, or they've already played the NFL for 12, 13, 14 years, and they can't find a job with any team, so they just go play in the Arena Football League so they can keep playing football. Well, I think the USFL is pretty much going to be like a modern-day minor league system for the NFL. So I'm excited about it, but I will say, if you're the kind of person that likes good color combinations or good uniforms, then you're going to be disappointed in the USFL because every one of these teams has just a pitiful, plain, bland, blah logo. Whoever had the color combinations needs to be fired. And I know there are a lot of people that are into that kind of thing. There are a lot of people that I know personally that like the Oregon Ducks in college football only because Oregon has 975 color combinations, and every single week they change uniforms, and a lot of people like that. So if you're one of those people, then the USFL is going to let you down. But we're going to talk about all 8 teams, and we're going to talk about all 8 teams' head coach. Because if you're a football fan, even if you're not a diehard fan, if you're a casual football fan, you're going to know the names of the majority of these teams' head coaches. Now, there's 8 teams altogether, so there's going to be 4 teams in the East and 4 teams in the West. And I ain't got to tell you who's going to be in the East and West. You can pretty much tell by the name of the team who's going to be on which side. The Philadelphia Stars are going to be coached by Bart Andrews. He's probably really the only guy on this list that's not, very popular as far as name-wise. And their uniforms are just ugly. They pretty much look like the Dallas Stars in the NHL, just a different color. And then we have the Birmingham Stallions. They're going to be coached by Skip Holtz. And their uniforms look a lot like the Western Michigan Broncos in college football. And then we have the Michigan Panthers. They're going to be coached by Jeff Fisher. And then we have the Pittsburgh Maulers, who are going to be coached by Kirby Wilson. And their uniforms pretty much look like the UTEP Miners at the collegiate level. The New Jersey Generals are going to be coached by a guy who's coached in the college game and the pro game, and that's Mike Riley. The Houston Gamblers are going to be coached by Kevin Summerlin, and the New Orleans Breakers are going to be coached by Larry Fedora. I think Larry Fedora should wear a fedora hat everywhere he goes. And the Tampa Bay Bandits are going to be coached by Todd Haley. Now, the USFL had their first annual draft this past Tuesday and Wednesday, and I must say, I don't think the NFL could quite do it the way the USFL did it, but I think it was a great idea because it pretty much evens up the rosters on each team. They had their drafts by rounds, and each team got one pick per round, and they separated each round by position. So round one, each team had to get a quarterback. And then there were rounds where each team had to get a running back. Each team had to get a defensive lineman. And I think that's a smart idea because that way no team can load up on offensive line. No team can load up on wide receivers. They evened it out. Each round was categorized by each position. And I thought that was a great idea. They had their draft on Tuesday and Wednesday. We might talk about that coming up one day later on here in the future, but I just wanted to run down each team and each coach. Like I said, Bart Andrews is really truly the only guy on the list that when you hear the name, most people are going to say, who is that? But every other name from Skip Holtz on down to Todd Haley, I think almost everybody that's a casual football fan is going to know those names, especially Kevin Summerlin. So if you have any thoughts on the USFL, please feel free to let me know. It kicks off in the middle of April, and I believe they're going to be having a double header on the day it starts. The only thing I have not been able to find yet is who are the commentators going to be. My guess is when it's on Fox, it's going to be the regular Fox regular season, whether it's college or NFL commentators. And NBC, I'm guessing, is going to be Mike Tirico, because if you have not heard yet, Al Michaels' contract with NBC just expired. And as of right now, he's still a free agent, so I'm guessing it's going to be Mike Tirico on the NBC side. And on the Fox side, they could use NFL commentators or college commentators. But I've searched and searched and searched and tried to find who they're going to be, but so far I've had no luck finding out who they're going to be. But they are going to have games on Fox and games on NBC. So I personally am looking forward to it, especially if Major League Baseball does start their season late. That gives us something else to watch in April and May besides college baseball and besides NASCAR. We'll also have the USFL until Major League Baseball does start their season, if they do start their season. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. What is the tallest building in the world? The library. It has the most stories. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.